Mean Gene.
Let me begin.
Oh my goodness, we are live from the Common Interest Restaurant and Bar located inside Hotel Indigo in the French Quarter. I am Mean Gene, the sports machine. We are in New Orleans. It's finally here, the last game of the 2024 season, otherwise known as the Super Bowl, in about 5.5 hours. Super Bowl 59 will kick off less than 2 miles from where we are right now. And as I stated already, I'm Mean Gene, and I am joined here by my co-host, Jacob Meadows from the Coaches Quarters. What's up, Jacob?
What's up, Gene? Hey, it's cool to be down in New Orleans, man. This is a cool little Hotel Indigo's a nice place. I
It
like
is.
this.
It's a very nice place. And look, our producer, who we can never take him anywhere we go because he has to make sure things are happening in the studios back in Houston, and that is AJ. AJ, I know you got some feedback on the end, or maybe not. Let's see. What's up, AJ?
What's up? How's it going, guys? What's up? How's it going, guys?
It's going great.
Hey,
It's going great, AJ. Look here, man. We would look. You see this third chair over here? We got room for you,
I see right
but
there.
it's.
I see right there. Just out emptying alone.
I know. But look here, we got to make sure we make you part of this broadcast today. Look here, man. It is so nice to be here. The Kansas City Chiefs will attempt to make history today by going for that third straight Super Bowl title, while the Philadelphia Eagles will try to seek revenge from the Super Bowl 57 loss to Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Look, we have a nice crowd here, right? I see the Chiefs fans. We got Chiefs fans? No?
some
Chiefs
Chiefs
fans. We got Eagles
Boo.
fans over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And we got them lousy ass Cowboy fans too. And you know what? They ain't even
Go
playing today.
Cowboys.
AJ, I'm sorry. I know
Go
you're a Cowboys.
Cowboys. Virginia.
AJ says go Cowboys. Okay. All right. So look, we got, first of all, I'll tell you what, we have some folks here that have come from all over the country to be here. And this is including some of my U.S. Navy veteran friends and their families here from California, Virginia, Georgia, Texas. Am I forgetting any? No? Louisiana? Well, Larry's from Louisiana. Arizona. Okay, I'm sorry. We got
You
Arizona.
were close. Almost got all of them.
So, look, we have an awesome show for you today here, folks. In the first hour, we are going to have a special guest coming from Billboard Magazine. She's going to be joining us. We also have the director of sales here at the Hotel Indigo, and she's going to come on and join us here. And we're supposed to have in the second hour, AJ, I know you're still working on that, Chris Franklin, who covers the Philadelphia Eagles. So he should be joining us in that second hour so we can kind of talk about what's going on with the Eagles in this big game today. So look, if you're not here, you're probably watching us on YouTube TV, and that's our youtube.com/ at ESPN Houston. All right. You can also catch us on Twitch, which we never really do Twitch, do we?
No, we don't.
We like YouTube
broadcast it
better,
a
but
lot.
some
Yeah.
people like Twitch, right? So that's www.twitch.tv / ESPN 975. So look, all right, we got the introductions out the way. We for the most part, we got our first guest. Well, no, we're gonna bring her on in the second segment, right?
All right.
Yeah, we're gonna do
Yeah,
that.
bring her
So,
on to the second.
look
segment.
here, I can tell you what's going on in this town. Last night we were on Bourbon Street last night, okay? So I had to get the friends and out there to see Bourbon Street. It was loaded. You saw some of the
I
pictures,
saw
right?
the pictures, Gene. Yeah.
Yeah. So one of my Navy friends who's sitting over there to your side, Rick, right? He actually showed his boobs for some beads. So I said, yeah. I said, Rick, I don't think it's supposed to work that way. They're supposed to show you their boobs. Yeah. Rick said, where the beads at? So, but anyway, look, I mean, there's a lot going on here. The Super Bowl, like I said, is going to be kicking off here in a couple of hours. Yesterday, we had an opportunity to hang out at the Super Bowl breakfast, which Jacob, an extraordinary event here. The local guy here, defensive end for the New Orleans Saints, Cameron Jordan, he was the recipient of the Bart Starr Award.
Good dude.
So that's for things you do not necessarily on the field,
Mhm.
things you do in the community, your family. And this award is actually voted on by the players.
Yeah.
The players. So, and look, I didn't know this guy was, I mean, he is popular. he can do no wrong in this city.
Oh no,
And-
not at all. I mean, he's been here forever, though. I mean,
Mhm.
there's been many, many moons since he showed up in New Orleans, and he hasn't left. So, he's a fan favorite out here.
He is. So also got a chance to hang out with the owner of the Saints, Miss Benson. She was there as well. Um, this organization, they also own the New Orleans Pelicans as well.
Nice.
But this organization here, so look, and we got some breaking news too, right? So just before we came on this morning, Kellen Moore now is the new coach of the New Orleans Saints.
Which is exciting. He's going to be good for the Saints, right? Like Dennis Allen, the Dennis Allen experiment was an experiment, and it definitely ran its course. Probably not as quick as it should have, but I think Kellen Moore is going to breathe a bit of new life here into the New Orleans Saints. You might finally see him, reach that echelon they had with Drew Brees and Sean Payton, right? Like, of all the people that they could bring in, Kellen Moore is a young, strong, offensive-minded coach. And, I mean, the one thing that the Saints really lacked this past season was offensive firepower, right? They started the season hot, first 2 games. They were the best team in the league. And then they forgot how to score points. So Kellen Moore is definitely going to be able to, kind of breathe that life back into the team.
It's funny that you say how they started out at the beginning of the year because Alvin Kamara looked like he was going to run the same numbers as Saquon Barkley. And then all of a sudden they just sort of
fell off the
disappeared.
map.
Yeah, they fell off the map. Yeah. So
it's going to be interesting to see what actually ends up happening with them, and then what they do in the draft, right? Because they have so many holes on that team that it's curious the direction that Kellen Moore takes it. Because they have 2 young quarterbacks on their roster. They have Derek Carr, he's owed a lot of money, but he's still a good quarterback. G.
he is, and you know what, AJ, just to get your thoughts on Kellen Moore taking this job, because as you know, a lot of Dallas Cowboy fans would have preferred Kellen Moore be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, but he waited it out, and the Eagles are here practicing, getting ready for the Super Bowl, and he doesn't have far to go after the game. You just go right down the road, and he's the head coach. What are your thoughts on that?
Right, it's a good opportunity for him. Right, it's a good opportunity for him. I mean, a lot of people saw this ago, but the thing about it is, I guess he's going to be the quarterback. I mean, yes, drafted with us. Spencer Rattler with us. That was like 4th, 5th round. And I don't think that the 9th pick, unless they try to trade up, you're going to get a quarterback there. So it's going to be interesting to see if they, draft later round quarterback, how they pursue Derek Carr still solid. Derek Carr still solid, like I said, but I'm talking about for a future.
Yeah, well, they love him here. They, mentioned it. They talked about it yesterday. This was before
mediocre.
He accepted the job today, right? I mean, that's when the news broke this morning, according to ESPN, Adam Schefter. So, anyway, yeah, he's the head coach. So anyway, like I said, hey, there are so many people here now. Today will mark the 8th time that the Super Bowl has been here in New Orleans. Okay, 7 other times. Now, and ironically, Super Bowl 4 or 5, I believe, was actually the first Super Bowl that the Kansas City Chiefs played in.
Really?
Yeah. I know you didn't know that.
I didn't.
That's
a few years before my time.
Now, the last Super Bowl that was hosted by New Orleans was the Baltimore Ravens and the San Francisco 49ers. Beyonce did a halftime show. And remember, and we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, right? So I think the 49ers was winning, but by the time the half show was over and the lights went out, and they turned them back on, Baltimore was winning.
Yeah. That was the clash of the Harbaugh brothers, right? That was when Jim was still with the 49ers.
That was the Harbaugh Bowl. So just interesting stuff here. But look, lots of things going on here. Also yesterday at the Super Bowl breakfast, had a chance to see James Brown, who is with Fox NFL Countdown. And today the Super Bowl will be on Fox. So that means you got 4 hours to listen to Tom Brady.
That's exciting for everybody that enjoys listening to Tom Brady talk.
Yeah. AJ, what you think Fox is going to do a good job today with Tom Brady? Because, he's gotten a lot of negative feedback.
Yeah, for sure. I know. I don't think it's been bad. I know some things have been cringe, like the screeching. He's like, saying that. But I mean, he's everything to hate on him. He's the GOAT ultimately. His insight, we sit here and talk about football, whether it's on air or just stuff like that, interviews, stuff like that. He is one of the greatest minds ever to know.
I mean, because his feedback, his job as an analyst is to just kind of, analyze. And I think who knows better than
Greg Olsen.
You like Greg Olsen?
I'm a Greg Olsen.
Well,
he's good too. I like Greg Olsen too.
Dustin Pfeiffer is really pissed because Olsen was a Carolina Panther.
Yeah.
So he's really upset about that. But look, I think it's going to be a great game. Look, we're not even going to get into the X's and O's of that game until late in the second hour of the show. But it's just going to be a great game. And I mean, you don't really normally you don't have a lot of interest when you see two teams that have played each other in the Super Bowl, and we're just talking about a couple of years. But these two teams continue to be the best in the NFL.
Yeah, they do. I mean, there's the season's been marred with some questionable calls, and there's been a lot of heat in different directions. But I mean, they are very much the best teams in the league. I mean, the Eagles absolutely dominated the Commanders there in the champion. Like it's one of those things. Like I wish it wasn't the Chiefs, right? I even kind of wish it wasn't the Eagles. It would have been cool to see Jaden Daniels in the Super Bowl.
I mean, and look, if you look at our rundown, it never changed. I put down there and we did all of our pre-game, preseason picks, and I had the Eagles and the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. So
you did. You picked it.
I mean, we can't steer away from that. So look, we're going to get ready for a break, and when we come back, we have the director of sales here from the Hotel Indigo. Nikki Jackson is going to join us. So look, stick around, folks. We just get started. We got a long show. We're going to have a lot of fun. The baseball Hayden kicking in
For you.
All right, so stick with us, folks. Once again, we are live from the French Quarter inside the Hotel Indigo. It is the Mean G Show right here on ESPN 97.5 H-Town.
You're listening to The Mean Gene Show
on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
for the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here's Mean Gene.
All right, folks, we are back. Once again, you're listening to The Mean Gene Show. It's our Super Bowl show, and we are live here at the French Quarter, New Orleans, Hotel Indigo, getting ready for the big game, which is going to kick off here in, maybe 5 hours or so. But we have to really talk about the New Orleans experience because we're visiting, right? So what do we know? But we do have the person who is responsible for us being here today, and she decided to sit down with us, and that is the director of sales, Nikki Jackson. Hello, Nikki.
Nikki.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the neighborhood.
Oh, grab your mic there.
I'm supposed to hold this thing.
There you go. Yeah, you got to hold that.
Hello, everyone. I'm Nikki Jackson. I'm the director of sales for the Hotel Indigo here in New Orleans. Welcome to our neighborhood.
Yes. We thank you for inviting us to your neighborhood. This place is really, really, really cool. We really
are
like it.
so happy to have you all here. Just want you guys to enjoy yourself, feel comfortable. Want something to drink, we have you. It's all about our neighborhood here. If you look around and when you see everything in here, you see the parasols. It's all New Orleans. It's all about New Orleans. When you look at the light fixtures, you see that those are brass. Those represent our brass bands here. Our theme here at the Hotel Indigo is taking it to the streets. So we take it inside the streets here, inside of the hotel, and then we take it on out. We party.
Okay, the location is really like perfect. I mean, just right. Canal is right up the street. I mean, everything is just right here.
Yeah, and then this restaurant that you guys are in, this is a part of our restaurant. It's called Common Interest, and then it's for the neighborhood. It's for everybody. It's not just for our guests. It's for everybody.
Now, you guys know I'm always butchering up a name or two, right? So when I first talked with Nikki, and we talked, and I said, look, we really want to come down there and do a show at your restaurant, Uncommon Interest. She says, no, it's Common Interest.
It is Common Interest, yes. But yeah, Hotel Indigo is affiliate of IHG. Intercontinental is like our umbrella, and then we fall under there. And we are actually a boutique luxury brand hotel. So we are luxury, we are high premium.
Is that like another word for bougie?
Yeah, we bougie.
Okay, it's bougie. Okay.
Yeah.
So look, what has it been like this week? Because, hotel rooms have been tough to get. We saw a lot of Chiefs, and we got Eagles fans, people leaving the hotel and getting ready to go over to the stadium and watch the game.
The good thing about this hotel, I booked the hotel all group, and it was booked way before. So I didn't have that hassle of worried about getting, people to book and, all of these different transients. So everything is all group. I have 4 different groups that's in house right now.
Okay.
Wow.
So now, what do you have on the menu here? Because I saw the menu, and I know you have a taste of New Orleans on your menus here, right?
We do have a taste of New Orleans. That taste of New Orleans, we have jambalaya, we have gumbo, and what's the other one? Red beans and rice. So we have that. That's our trio. We have we have hot wings. We have we have a lot of different things on that menu. So.
Okay.
Nice.
And including some nice exotic drinks like the one you have right there in front of you.
That's right.
Yeah.
What are you drinking?
What is that anyway?
This what I'm drinking is
Can you put that on the camera so that
a
you
very
YouTubers
dirty
can see?
martini. If you can see that.
Okay. Yeah, they see it.
With lots of olives because I like olives.
I like olives.
That's like
too.
my meal.
It's a breakfast of champions.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So now, okay, it's the Eagles and the Chiefs, and I'm just thinking here because I know you're not a fan of neither one of them, right?
That's why I have on footballs today.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you look like you're wearing Saints colors, though.
Yeah, because I am a Saints fan.
Okay.
That's the only game I watch.
So we just announced in the first segment that the Saints have a new coach now, and
I am excited.
okay.
I pray that we have a better year this year. But either way it goes, we are die-hard Saints fans here, whether they win or lose. They give us heart attacks. They give us heart attacks. But we love our Saints. And I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm not a sports person. The only sport that I did was cheerleader in high school.
Mhm.
But the reason I choose the Saints for one is because I live here, and I feel like I always tell my mom we have the best costumes. She said costumes. I said yeah, they're uniforms. We have the best uniforms.
Got good colors, gold,
Yes,
black.
we do. They're so festive. Beautiful
So
colors.
yesterday, I had a chance to witness an award being given to someone who is very popular in this town. I didn't realize how popular he was until they just read some of the things that he has done in the community, and that's Cameron Jordan.
Oh, Cameron Jordan. Yes. Okay. Now I don't know a whole lot of what Cameron Jordan has done up and out, for our community.
Hmm.
But I'm happy that he got an award.
He got it.
And I know Drew Brees had one too because we had somebody here. One of his friends was here. Comedian. What is his name? Keenan Key.
Keenan Michael King.
Yes, he was here.
Oh, he
was
came here?
He came here
That's
to
cool.
with us at Common Interest, and
Okay.
we talked about Drew Brees, and he was here to actually speak and honor Drew Brees for receiving his award.
And
That's
speaking
cool.
of Drew yesterday, and I mean, he just shut the place down.
Yes, he does, and everybody loves. Drew
Everybody
Brees here.
does.
Yeah.
Jacob?
I love Drew Brees.
I
Yeah,
love him
I'm
too.
a big fan. I liked him when he played. That was one of the only reasons I ever cheered for the Saints. I'm not
Right.
a Saints fan. I'm sorry, but I did love Drew Brees.
See? Well, I'll take that.
Hey,
I'll
Drew,
take that.
Drew Brees and C.J. Spiller. I was a big
Oh
C.J.
yeah, I
Spiller
forgot all
fan.
about CJ Spiller. So okay, but now since you've had these fans in here, the Chiefs and the Eagles fans in here, you had to have heard some like rumors or murmurs about which team you think is going to win, or have you had more of one fan versus the other, more Eagles, more Chiefs?
I think we have more Eagles fans
Really?
in house. Yeah.
Okay.
I see like you have one trickling in, but for the most part, I've seen a lot of green.
A lot of green.
Yes.
Okay.
Go Birds.
And the weather just seems to
Hey, the
have.
green is for money.
Yeah, that's true. So, can you describe what this place looked like a couple of weeks ago when you had 10 inches of snow?
Now I didn't come down here.
Oh.
My director of food and beverage was down here. But I will say this: at first, I was angry that the snow was coming, but when I saw the snow, it was so beautiful. I'd never seen anything.
10
like
inches.
that
Fun.
here. And then it made every neighborhood in New Orleans look beautiful.
Mhm.
I don't care
Oh,
if
it
it
really
was
did.
toe up from the floor up before. It made the neighborhood look beautiful. I will say this: I go down 2 flights of stairs every day from my home, right?
Okay.
And the stairs were full of snow. I decide I want to go outside and get the snow off my car. Well, I stepped right on down in the snow and slid. But when I fell, at first I was scared, like, oh my God. But when I fell, I was like, oh, that's not that bad.
It catches you like a pillow.
Yeah, I made myself
Well, as
feel
long, I mean, you didn't
surprised.
have any ice, so I mean that made it a little bit better. So, okay, tell our folks in Houston that are planning trips to come here in the next, whether it's the spring or the summer, what's going to be happening here at Hotel Indigo.
Well, but next up at Hotel Indigo is Mardi Gras. So we are all excited about Mardi Gras, but you can't come to our Hotel Indigo for this Mardi Gras because, again, our group. So we have a buyout at the hotel. But for the next Mardi Gras, yes. And then after Mardi Gras, you got Jazz Fest coming up.
Okay.
You got
Okay.
Essence Festival
That's
coming
right.
up.
That's right.
So those are good things that are coming up. And we are in the best location right here at Common in St. Charles. We are central to everything.
Yes,
Within
you are.
walking distance from everywhere. If you want to hop on a streetcar, grab a drink from us, sip while you wait, and then hop on a streetcar and go where you got to go.
And get on down to Bourbon Street. Well, Nikki, once again, we thank you for allowing us to come here.
Thank you,
And
guys.
we are enjoying ourselves, and we look forward to coming back again.
Well, thank you. We are happy to have you. And again, welcome everybody to the neighborhood.
All right, folks. Nikki Jackson, Director of Sales for the Hotel Indigo, joining us here on our special Super Bowl broadcast. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to discuss more about what's happening in the Crescent City. You're listening to The Mean Gene Show right here on ESPN 97.5 H-Town.
You're listening to The Mean Gene Show
on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
for the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here's Mean Gene. Here's Mean Gene.
All right, once again, we are back live from Hotel Indigo in the French Quarter. We are in the Common Interest restaurant. Jacob Meadows and I and our producer AJ back in the studio in Houston. And we just heard from the director of sales here inside the Hotel Indigo, Nikki Jackson. And that Martina looked really good.
Miss Nikki was great too. That was a fun interview.
It was. It was really great. So look, she just stated that Mardi Gras is coming up in a couple of weeks, and there's Essence Fest. There's a lot of things going on. So, if you can't book a room here at Hotel Indigo, there are plenty of places to stay around the New Orleans area, but they always have so many things going on. Tonight, I can only imagine what Bourbon Street is going to look like.
No kidding. I know Tony will be here for Mardi Gras for the beads. But
Look, it's going to be great. So if you make that drive,
That you might have missed. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU. Super Bowl 59 is set.
Representing the AFC will be the Kansas City Chiefs. Mahomes, end zone. He's got another.
Can they three-peat in the Super Bowl? Well, it's never been done.
Representing the NFC will be the Philadelphia Eagles.
What a run! Touchdown! Saquon Barkley.
Eagles fly.
For the second time in the last 3 years, the Eagles are in the Super Bowl, and they get a chance for some get back at the team that denied them 2 years ago.
He is Orlando Franklin. I'm Freddie Coleman. Thanks for joining us on Player Preview with the Pros, the Super Bowl edition, presented by GNC and ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, and also Sirius XM Channel 80 at GNC Nutrition. It's not a department. It's the whole freaking store. You get goals. You got goals. GNC has results. Let's bring in somebody who we know pretty well. Man who won a Super Bowl championship with the Denver Broncos. A lot of people know him playing for the Philadelphia Eagles as a 2-time All-Pro and a 3-time Pro Bowler. He is the right Seth Joyner joining us here on Player Preview with the Pros. Before we get into Super Bowl 59 involving the Chiefs and the Eagles, Seth, and about the Eagles and the fans in that city, one of our favorites, Eric Allen, got that call to the Hall, being inducted to Pro Football Hall of Fame. You know this guy, you play with this guy. What was it like to finally hear that Eric Allen, a man who had 54 career interceptions, is going to be among the immortals in August, being inducted to Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio?
Hey, guys, it's a long time coming. So happy for my cornerback one, I should say. And it's going to be a party in Canton. I'm like, boy, you can believe that.
Hey, Seth, in your career to play for the Philadelphia Eagles, this is now the second time Philly's getting back to this big game in the last 3 years. What does this just mean to this fan base, and what do you think about this season? What do they got to do to get in order to get a win this weekend?
Well, listen, it's everything to the fan base. I mean, what is that? 3 Super Bowls in the last, you go back to 17, 7 years. This is major, for an organization who hasn't had a lot of luck in Super Bowls. The few that they've been in, especially in the modern Super Bowl era. But listen, I mean, it's going to be a tall task. It's going to be, you know, a battle of wills out there on Sunday night. But hey, I think, you know, these Eagles are primed and ready, you know, for the challenge. And, you know, it's just a great opportunity, you know, not only for the city, but for these players. These players have come a long way from where they crashed last year to getting back, you know, to being one of the better teams in the National Football League, finishing the deal throughout the end of the season in a major way and getting back to, you know, a Super Bowl.
Super Bowl champion, a man who played for the Philadelphia Eagles, a two-time All-Pro, comes to Seth Joyner, joining Freddie Coleman and Orlando Franklin on Player Preview the Pros on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. We know that city can be very, very hard on players, especially quarterbacks. Ask Ron Jaworski, ask Donovan McNabb, ask Jalen Hurts. You've been around that. What is it like to be a quarterback in that city where the hopes and fears really rise on the play of the quarterback in charge of that with the Philadelphia Eagles, Seth?
Well, you know, listen, it's not easy playing in Philadelphia, but if you lay it all out on the line for that city, you know, even if you don't win a championship, they will forever love you. And that's my experience. That's a lot of the guys that I played with experiences. When you talk about the quarterback, you know, you're talking about Jalen Hurts. Listen, this guy's been under so much scrutiny, so much doubt during his 5 years in Philadelphia, and all the kid has done is won. Mm-hmm. Patrick Mahomes is the only quarterback in the National Football League who's had more wins than Jalen Hurts. So I don't understand, you know, the hate that not only he gets from a national level, but the hate that he gets, you know, from a local level. But he's integral to everything that they do. Saquon Barkley's success has a lot to do with him on the field. For people who don't understand that, believe that, or get that, just go watch the second half of the Week 16 game against the Washington Commanders, where they held Saquon to 27 yards rushing in the second half, 1.6 yards per carry. That kind of stuff people don't get, they don't understand. Also, take into account that, you know, when you think about the Josh Allens, the Patrick Mahomes, and guys like that, you hear that they are such great field generals. But for people who really understand the game and watch the game with an analytical eye, they can look at Jalen Hurts and see him at the line of scrimmage making checks, getting the team into the best play possible. He took over protection responsibilities this year with the retirement of Jason Kelce. So listen, I mean, he to me, you know, he's a top flight, you know, quarterback. Maybe not throwing the ball, because this year they haven't required that he does that, but it doesn't mean that he can't do it. And yes, it's been tough on him in Philadelphia, but when they first drafted him and his ascension began, I said, if there's a quarterback who's ever been, you know, who's ever been molded and shaped and ready and right for the city of Philadelphia, it's Jalen Hurts, because the kid just puts his head down, goes to work, gets the job done, and never thumbs his nose in anybody's face and like, hey, I told you so. But you know what, deep down inside, he told you so.
Yeah. Seth, your last year in the National Football League was 1998. You played with the Denver Broncos. That year, on the other side of the ball, guy that you had to practice against, TD, had over 2,000 yards, right? 2,008 yards that season, a very special season. We just watched Saquon surpass 2,000 yards this past year. Could you just talk to us about Saquon's impact for this Philadelphia Eagles football team?
Well, it really changed. It changed their perspective, and I'm surprised that it changed their perspective, because I think, you know, when Doug Peterson was fired, Jeffrey Lurie came out and said that you have to have a top flight quarterback and you win in this league with explosive offenses. Well, that meant that, you know, we were going to throw the ball all over the map. And, you know, this new narrative in the NFL that you throw the ball early and you get the lead and then you run the ball late to balance out your run pass ratio, and you run it late to run out the clock. Well, they tried that over the first 4 games of the season, and it didn't bode well, you know, for the Eagles. They started off 2-2.
Right.
Coming out of the bye week, they made the decision to ride Saquon Barkley. And to a large extent, you know, they maybe even fell in love with it, maybe just a little too much, because, you know, Jalen Hurts only threw the ball on average, throughout the last, 13, 14 weeks of the season. He only threw the ball on average 21 times per game, with 70% completion percentage. So Saquon Barkley became the focal point. And with this offensive line, and then realizing that no matter whether you win a light box, a heavy box, whatever, that they can run the ball at anybody, anytime. Because if you listen to the rhetoric every single week with teams leading up to the Philadelphia Eagles, we got to stop Saquon. We got to stop Saquon. We got to stop Saquon. Guess what? Nobody has stopped Saquon all season long. So I don't know why people find it so hard to believe that, I think that Saquon, he's going to have a big day Sunday, maybe not 200 yards worth, because this is a great defense with a great defensive mind.
Right.
But he's going to have success. You're just not going to stop Saquon, plain and simple. And he's made all the difference, because what offensive linemen like to do with 6'6" plus, 340-pound plus average across the board, what they like to do is maul you.
Yeah,
And
move forward rather than backwards.
Say it again?
I said move forward rather than backwards, that's for sure.
Well, but that's old school football, and I love seeing it, because it's kind of a renaissance when you look at guys like Saquon, Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, and I'm sure I'm missing some others. The run game there's been a resurgence of, because this is how football is really supposed to be played. And it is a quarterback's best friend when you operate this way. Now, I'm not saying that you have to be as run dominant as the Philadelphia Eagles have been, because they're probably 65-35, run to pass. Normally it would be, the complete opposite. But I'm not saying that this is how you have to operate, but it gives your quarterback the best opportunity for success when you can control the line of scrimmage and you're running the football, because your entire playbook is open. So Saquon has been just huge. And then when you throw the improvement of the defense, now when you can run the football and you play great defense, you're going to win a hell of a lot of games. That's just a fact. I don't care what anybody says. You can talk about this passing stuff all you want, but the statistics show the more you throw the football, the more you get up in the 35 to 40% range throwing the football, the more you turn it over. And guess what? Jalen Hurts has only had two turnovers in the last 15 football games.
30 seconds left. I'm calling this game the Andy Reid Invitational, because he's the winningest coach for both of these franchises, the Eagles and the Chiefs. If he's able to do this, not just a three-peat for Kansas City that's not been done, Seth, since the merger of the NFL and AFL, but what would that mean overall? What would that mean overall for Andy Reid in terms of that conversation of being on that Mount Rushmore of coaches in the NFL?
Well, listen, there's no doubt about it. I mean, if you do something that's never been done before and you've had the previous success that Andy's had, by far, he goes down as the greatest coach in NFL history, and he's not even done yet. So, I mean, that just goes without saying. But that's
You're listening to the Mean Gene Show
on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
for the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here's Mean Gene. Here's Mean Gene.
All right, folks, we are about to wrap up the first hour of the Mean Gene Show. Me and Jacob Meadows, we are still live from the French Quarter. We're at Hotel Indigo right here in the French Quarter. So, you know what? It looks like something's going on behind us, okay? And I would assume that it is the players' buses, perhaps, getting ready to make their way to the
stadium.
So I think the Chiefs are either the Eagles, one of them staying at the Marriott here.
One of the two teams, 50-50 chance.
And yeah, well, they both are on Canal Street. So anyway, and look, the traffic here, if you've been here in the French Quarter, you know these streets are really so that's the Eagles. Well, you know, historically, the team that arrives first wins the Super Bowl. I'm just saying that right there. Look, that's a lie. I have no stats to back that up. Okay. But it sounded good, didn't it? Right? So
it sure did. You were confident the Eagles are winning.
Yeah. Look, okay. Look, and look, we're tiptoeing around our picks because I know where I want to go with this. I know exactly where I want to go with my picks today. I even got money to prove it. You know, we had a chance to hang out at Boomtown yesterday, and that is one of the casinos. Well, where is that? Where is that? Is that located? What is it? Bell Chase? Well, it's on the other side of the bridge. But we had a great time there at Boomtown, placing some wagers. And Jacob, now this is something you know about the wager inside here. So what have you seen as far as wagering? Where's the money going? What's the spread right now? All of that great stuff. What are we looking at?
So, courtesy of not being out here in time, I actually don't know the spread to this game. I know most of the public money is on the Chiefs. From everything that I've seen going up to this, the majority of the public money is on the Chiefs, which, I mean, it could mean two things. That team actually loses, that way Vegas gets to win. But if it's, you know, somewhere between 45 and 70%,
My buddy Rick was looking at my picks yesterday. So the spread is 3.5, and I actually took a spread where I picked a parlay that they needed to win over by 6. The Kansas City Chiefs will win by 6, which I think historically, that last Super Bowl 57 was a 3-point game, if I'm not mistaken, right?
It's KC -1, but yes, you are correct.
So it's down to 1
It's
now?
down to 1.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
It seems like Vegas thinks the Eagles are going to make some moving and grooving.
But you know how hard it is for a team. Look, what the Chiefs are trying to do is just historically impossible. No team has ever won 3 consecutive Super Bowls. Now, you can go back way before me and you was around. Maybe I was around for one of them, but I was a little tiny baby, right? So I don't know a whole lot about this. But the Green Bay Packers actually, you know, were NFL champions. They were champions, not Super Bowl champions. They didn't have the Super Bowl then.
Right. This is back in the Vince Lombardi days, right? Yeah.
So, and then there wasn't that many teams in the league either. So, you know, but at the time, it was what it was. They were into the back then, right? Yeah. So they were the cream of the crop. That's why the Green Bay Packers organization is so historic. You can never take that away from them. They earned what they earned, right? So this is all great stuff. But anyway, we do know that what the Kansas City Chiefs are trying to do, they have won back-to-back Super Bowls, okay? They're getting ready for a franchise. They're trying to go for a franchise 4 Super Bowl wins, right? Or is it 5 Super Bowl wins?
I think it's 4, but I could be. No, it would be 5. It would be 5.
So,
they had 2 prior to Patrick.
This is unreal. They're trying to win 3 Super Bowls in a row, and man, it's just a monumental task. They remind me so much of the New England Patriots and the hype that was around them. I mean, what Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs can do today, Tom Brady hadn't. Yep. He didn't do.
And I tell you what, the only thing that could stand in their way, right, is the one thing that has hurt the Chiefs in this playoff, right? The one thing that has kept other teams in the playoffs this season. Joe Mixon had a great day against the Chiefs. James Cook had a great day against the Chiefs. And guess who the Eagles have? Who should have won MVP? Saquon Barkley having a historic season for a running back. And if the Eagles are going to win today, it's going to be Saquon Barkley that carries them over that finish line. Because if anybody can do it, it's going to be the best running back in the league.
Hey, look, can't wait to talk about that because it's just going to be incredible. You know, we're going to talk about the Saquon. What he has done for this team, what he has done for the NFL, and look, just a couple of years ago, the NFL running back was damn near obsolete.
Yeah, but it got so bad that teams were trying to make the running backs take pay cuts so that they could sign other players or give extensions to the receivers and their corners and what have you. And now running backs coming back.
Well,
it's premium.
Running back Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry. And it's kind of interesting how they had to change teams to just sort of really prove their point. Not that they really needed to. We all knew that Barkley was going to be a great running back.
Yes.
And even when he came back from the injury, we knew that was going to work out for him.
And Derrick Henry he was the best player in the NFL, and he played for the Titans. They were both generational running backs, but now that they're on teams that are talented, right? Just all world.
They changed teams, and man, imagine it would have been epic if they had met in the Super Bowl. I know a lot of people had the Ravens going, but could you imagine the marketing and the billing for the two top running backs in football to be facing off on each other? I mean, it didn't happen. We didn't get to see that, but still would have made for a magical Super Bowl. Not that this one won't be.
But it would have been really cool seeing as how they just moved, right? Like Saquon was with the Giants for years, Derrick Henry was with the Titans for years, and if they would have both left and become powerhouses on new teams and then met in the Super Bowl, it would have just been the script couldn't have been written any better.
Yeah,
right?
No doubt at all. So I tell you what, man, it's going to be exciting here. In the second hour of the show here, we're going to get more into. We're going to have Catrice Johnson. We had her scheduled in the first hour, but like I said, she's trying to get through the traffic here in downtown right now.
And you can see there's
another bus that's coming down here.
These streets are packed.
If you're anywhere near the stadium, I didn't think they would bring them through downtown, though. I guess that's the most interesting thing. But I guess Canal Street is probably even
loaded
more
down. Yeah,
so they're going to take the shortcut. But anyway, if you're on your way down here to Hotel Indigo to hang out with us here on the Mean Gene Show with Jacob Meadows, look, pack your patience, as they say, right? Because it is like bumper to bumper here. 12:54 local time here, and look, it has started. The Super Bowl festivities has started. So this could be one of the buses with the team. So if I can sort of describe what's going on right now with both teams and the families.
Mm-hmm.
When we covered the Super Bowl with the Raiders and the Buccaneers, we had the opportunity we covered that from a media standpoint, and we actually had a chance to ride a team bus with the families.
Really?
And we had a police motorcade, which was exciting.
dope.
And when I saw those motorcycle cops in front of us, I thought about some of the outstanding warrants I may have had out there. But no, they said, "You good, man? We just taking y'all to the Super Bowl, right?" But it's if you've never been to a Super Bowl event, and is exciting. There are some people that will and just enjoy. Like a lot of folks here, everyone just wants to be part of it. Just like the people we saw last night on Bourbon Street. But a few of us have had the opportunity to go to some games. I've been fortunate. I've attended several Super Bowls. And it is unlike any experience that you can ever. You know the difference between a regular season Texans game.
Yeah.
You know the atmosphere from a playoff game.
Correct.
But there is nothing like a Super Bowl. You will know that you're at a different game that you've ever been to in your life. You will see the decorations. You will see the people. It's just the ambiance. You see it all. And this is what happens. So if you at the Super Bowl, once these teams get there, they're going to be barricaded and locked down. But there are pregame festivities that are happening in the stadium that's 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 just part of the Super Bowl. But it is a great experience. So if you ever get a chance, and I know these Super Bowl tickets here were some of the
They were cheaper
ones.
because there was a lot that went into that. But yeah, they were down as low. What was it? It was as low as
4,000.
$5,000. Yeah, $4,000.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of money, but it's significantly less than usual.
It's a lot of money. But look, if you've never been to the Superdome, that's a historic place within itself.
Yes.
And I've had an opportunity. Development and Talent Relations representative from Billboard, Catrice Johnson. She's going to join us here, so stick around, folks. It's the Mean Gene Show live from the French Quarter Hotel Indigo on ESPN 97.5 Houston.
Mean Gene.
All right. We are back here for the second hour of the Mean Gene Show. Once again, I'm Mean Gene, and Jacob Meadows is joining me here from Coach's Quarters, and we are getting ready to do it up here for Super Bowl 59 is now 4.5 hours away, Jacob.
I'm excited. Are you excited? I hate the football season ending. I'm gonna miss talking football, but God, I love the Super Bowl.
I am. And you know what? I mean, yes, and the weather's great. And, we talked with Nikki Jackson earlier about, 2 weeks ago, there was 10 inches of snow on the ground. Almost a foot of snow was on the ground. And here we are now, 75 degrees.
Got people in shorts and flip-flops walking down the street.
Yeah. Sunglasses, you need, because the sun is abundant sunshine here today. But this is just one of those great days to be here. And look, we still got a lot of show to talk about here. Catrice Johnson from Billboard is going to come and join us, and she's going to come in here and tell us what's going on here with the sports and entertainment world, because we all know the Super Bowl, right? You got people here that are not really football fans. They just come here
The Super Bowl, the
and
festivities.
for the Super Bowl, just like, with the Maxim party, Shaq's party, you name it, Sports Illustrated parties. Everybody's got a party down here, and this is what they do. So from a sports and entertainment perspective, she's going to come on and join us here a little bit later in the show. We're still going to try to reach out to Chris Franklin, hopefully, but if not, look, me and you have more than enough insights and takes here, because we're going to give you, first we're going to present the matchup to you, and then we're going to kind of just break this game down from our perspective. As far as, it's not, we talked about gambling earlier. It's not so much about, all right, just close your eyes and figure, okay, yeah, they're going to cover this, they're going to do that. We're actually going to,
dig into the statistics.
We're going to dig into it. Yeah,
there's things that you can glean from like historical record that'll help you kind of pick which way this would go, one way or the other. And I'm excited to break the game down, Gene. Like I love the festivities part, but I like breaking the game down. It's going to be. I
do too.
This is a good matchup. Like as much as I didn't want either of these teams in the Super Bowl, it is a good matchup for multiple
because
reasons.
now we're in it. You can't bicker about what happened in the NFC Championship game, the AFC Championship game. Other teams, your team, whoever teams had a chance to get there. If you're a real football fan, you will appreciate this game.
It's greatness.
It's a great game, and that's what it is. So we see a lot of folks in the lobby area who are getting ready to go to the Super Bowl here. Believe me, this is one of those games, but it starts at 5:30 local. You don't leave here at 4 o'clock going to a Super Bowl.
No.
You get there as early as you can. Like I said, it's 4.5 hours before kickoff here. The excitement couldn't be any better.
I mean, these guys are almost late bloomers, right? We've had multiple groups get bussed out already because they go and they line up over there, and then they all get on a.
Those are the people that slept in last night, and
they're the ones at the casino. with y'all.
Yeah, probably with at the casino down there, making sure. Man, I had a good night at the casino, by the way.
Yeah.
Walk out of there with $300. Yeah, I mean, not bad.
Any night
I'm
that
a
green's a good
roulette
night.
guy.
Yeah, I know. I've lost so much money standing next to you playing roulette.
So it's just fun stuff here, man. Some of the things you do here as part of Super Bowl 59 festivities here, man. Look, this is it. This is the end of the NFL season. Mm-hmm. Next month, the Combine starts, okay? Or is it later this month? No, the later this month, the NFL Combine is going to start. And next month, we're making preparations for what is that called? The NFL Draft?
Yep.
Can you believe we're at that?
I'm stoked for the draft. Hey, is the Combine still at Lucas Oil in Indianapolis?
Yes, it is.
Because they're supposed to be moving it somewhere else, or is it being on like a rotation, kind of like the Super Bowl, right?
I don't know. I mean, it just seems like that place is just the place it should be.
It's the perfect place.
Yeah,
for
I
the
mean,
Combine.
I don't know. But when it comes to the NFL, if they can market it and make some money off of it,
kind of do it.
They will move it around. The Super Bowl is a prime example of that.
And I mean, you have Allegiant Stadium now in Las Vegas. You have SoFi in California.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are great stadiums that are new and beautiful, and it's good for TV, right? You telecast the Combine. Everything looks beautiful because it's all brand new. Even Jerry World wouldn't be a bad place to have Combine.
No, it wouldn't be. I would say I would agree that you would have to keep it inside. I think.
Yes.
That way. Players
no elements.
out there. Yeah, because those guys are out there in shorts. You don't want to be. I mean, because believe me, in Lucas Oil Stadium in February, it is cold up there in that area still. So, why don't you just get the camera and see? Can you get a view of this? We got Chiefs fans. Can you spin that around so our YouTube people can see basically what's going on? So this is I think that's St. Charles Street, perhaps, if I'm not mistaken.
And we did happen to just miss the entire crowd of people. Y'all saw the last 4 or 5, but there was a bunch of them.
Because every once in a while, like there's Eagles fans there. We just saw Chiefs fans going the opposite direction. I mean, so either we got in the lobby area, you got folks that are getting ready to go to the Super Bowl there. They're checking out and getting ready to go. There's some Eagles fans, a whole bunch of them. There's a whole bunch of them.
There's a bunch of them just walking by.
Yeah, with the number 26 on. They just passed those Chiefs fans. I didn't see no fighting going on, anything. But it's just amazing. I'm so happy. Look, there's Chiefs
There's more
and
Chiefs
Eagles
fans.
fans walking together.
Hey, the
Is that-
Eagles fan kind of looks like Andy Reid. It's
Oh man, it takes a lot to look like Andy Reid. Now anybody cannot look like. Look, okay, now the Eagles
now
fans.
you see more Eagles fans.
Now
Hey,
you see more Eagles
see,
fans. So they come in.
These streets are packed right now.
They're
There's
coming out
so
now.
many
Yeah.
people waking up right now
Yes.
at 1 p.m.
Well, it's like I said, it's 4 hours, 4.5 hours before Super Bowl 59 is going to kick off. So look, we're going to leave here, and me and my friends, we're going over to NAS New Orleans. We're going to be watching the Super Bowl on the military base. So and me and these same guys you see right here, these veterans, we have a private room on the base where we get to watch the game.
Lucky.
I mean, it's just one of those, things that kind of worked out. We wanted to be down here, but we knew that after the game, it's going to be a nightmare.
Yeah, it's going to be absolute. I mean, unless you're just on foot and that's what you plan on doing all night, like it is going to be brutal. The streets
But it's going to
of New
be
Orleans.
fun now. I'm not saying that.
Oh, it's going to be a blast.
Yeah, I'm not saying it to deter anyone. But it's going to be this lobby is probably going to be
packed
because you got everyone. You get to cash in your bets down there in Harris. So and speaking of bets, so can we just talk about my ticket here? Can we talk about this one ticket here? Because look, and I want to get your thoughts on it because you're probably more of the parlay guy.
I'm going to parlays
Than
up
I
too.
am.
Yeah.
But okay, so this is what we got here. This is what we got. This ticket right here. Now, I'm a cheap gambler, okay?
Sure.
You can see I spent $20 to win how much?
$20,000. $20,020.
Yep, and I want my 20 back, basically, right?
Jesus. Well, it is an 8-leg parlay.
But
This
it's an
is already
8-leg.
tough. But
So, okay, look. So the first leg of this parlay has Saquon Barkley rushing under 124.5. Let me tell you why. Well,
Okay.
but without getting more into my picks, I think he's going to be more used in the flat today.
Sure.
Then, because if you're counting on him to rush for 200 yards or 150 yards,
They're gonna
that
game
may
plan
not
against
happen. But guess what might happen? Catching it in the flat.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
That explains that pick. So we also have player to have at least 200-yard passing.
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts. Okay.
That could hit.
That could hit, right? So how about Isaiah Pacheco for just
Over
4.5
4.5.
yards as a receiver?
Yep.
I mean, that's just a quick throw from Patrick Mahomes, and boom, right?
It's just one. Yep.
The other one I have, total receiving yards by a player.
Is that Noah Gray?
Noah Gray, 11.
That'll
and a
hit.
half.
11.5. That'll hit. He catches 4 passes
He
a game.
catches, yeah. So I think that's doable. How about the last touchdown? Now this is crazy. So this you got to watch the whole damn game, right? The last touchdown, it has to be a Chiefs player.
That's an interesting bet.
Yeah, I mean
Okay.
either that could seal the game or that could be a come from behind. How about a come from behind?
That would be cool.
Yeah,
unless it's an Eagles player to win the
Yeah,
game. But
now here's the controversial ones that my friends were like calling me out on, and this is the one where the point spread Chiefs by 6. Now, what comes into play there is, say we got a tie game going into, and the tiebreaker, well, even if overtime, that would cover that. But you know what happened last year? Okay.
I think the Chiefs win by 13, probably. So
Okay,
I think that's
so-
a safer bet.
Now, this one, players to have at least 20 receiving yards, Saquon Barkley, yes.
In the flats, yeah, you're
In the flat. I had to justify
you're really
that.
believing in that one, but
I'm
yeah.
believing in that one. So, how about this one? Total receiving yards by a player under 39.5, Marquise Brown.
Hollywood Brown.
Because they have
D-Hop, Xavier
and
Worthy.
Xavier Worthy, and Juju.
It's
So-
not Marquez Valdez-Scantling. It's Juju
No, it's Juju,
Smith-Schuster.
yeah. So that is doable. I think, look, this ticket is doable.
It's
Now-
possible.
Now, wouldn't it be something here if I done hit 7 and I'm waiting on that last score? You're talking about a nerve-wracking moment. I mean, you know that happens.
That would be hard. Yeah, that's
It would be unbelievable.
That's
unbelievable.
Imagine you hit 7 of those, and then Philadelphia gets like a pick 6 to end the game. Like, it would just.
Oh.
I'd cry for you.
Oh, I don't even. At that point, man, it would turn into a Super Bowl nightmare, and I would not want that to happen, but it could happen. But anyway, so that's one of the parlays. So certainly you're going to be able to get you a bet in before you leave, right? I mean, you almost have to.
I did some prop betting when I was still in Texas. You know, my bigger ticket, I've got $40 on this. It was Travis Kelce anytime touchdown, Saquon Barkley anytime touchdown,
Okay.
Kareem Hunt anytime touchdown,
Okay.
and then DeAndre Hopkins over
Now, what does it
16
mean
and a
when it
half.
says anytime touchdown?
Rushing or receiving? You just have to catch a touchdown at some point in the game. Now, to preface this, I am terrible at prop betting. I do not understand how people make a living off of this, and gamble responsibly. But prop betting is the worst thing to ever happen to sports. It is the most difficult thing to figure out.
It really is, and it's taken off. And
that's because you can do it in the States. It's not legal to sports gambling, right? But it's hard.
It is. In my opinion, I think it is gambling, but
it is.
It is. So anyway, I tell you what, we are going to break here, and we're still waiting for Catrice Johnson to come and join us here. And I just got to think, look, we've seen the traffic
It's
here.
been like the same car next to us for 20 minutes.
So I know it's got to be tough. Then parking. So hopefully we get her on here. Probably not the next segment, but we still got 45 more minutes.
Hopefully we can get her on in general.
Yeah, we'll get her on here. So folks, hey, stick around. You're listening to a live version of the Mean Gene Show from the French Quarter. We're inside the Hotel Indigo right here in New Orleans on ESPN 97.5 Houston.
You're listening to the Mean Gene Show
on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
for the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here's Mean Gene.
All right. Once again, we are back broadcasting live from Hotel Indigo. We're in the French Quarter, man. And look, that car is still out there waiting. It has not moved. We got one of the officials for the game that just walked in here.
He is actually at the bar. Woo!
So he's at the bar. Chances are he's going to throw a flag on the Eagles for pass interference.
He orders enough drinks and he'll call it on the Chiefs and make America happy. He left. He didn't like those jokes.
No, I know. So look here. We're still waiting on one of our guests to come through here so we can talk a little sports and entertainment. But we're not going to miss out on an opportunity. Let's break this game down, Jacob Meadows, because look, man, these teams deserve to be here, and just like we were saying in the previous segment, regardless of if you like either one of them, it's the Super Bowl.
It is the Super Bowl.
Okay, so it ain't it. I think we're beyond that point now, arguing how the Eagles were just too much for the Washington Commanders. You know, that Commanders team had an extraordinary year, but the Eagles had a better year. And unlike last year, where the expectations was even higher for the Eagles, this year they didn't set those expectations that high. Even with Saquon Barkley, you notice they
It
sort of
was very
tiptoed.
balanced. Yeah.
Yeah,
And they're a
sort of-
better team with Saquon.
Yeah, they are.
They have played. I mean, they demolished the Commanders, and it was a good Commanders team. And you know, it's one of those things where no matter how you spin it, right? None of the rest of the teams in the playoffs, none on the AFC side, sans maybe the Bills, but none of the teams in the playoffs could you take. And if you add them to this picture, right? So Bills, Texans, neither of those could square off against the Chiefs as well as square off against the Eagles the way the Chiefs will. And then on the flip side for the NFC, you know, the Commanders were easily the best team outside of the Eagles. And after they got demolished by the Eagles, there's just no way the Commanders could have went toe-to-toe with the Chiefs. So really, at the end of the day, no matter how you spin it, this is the perfect matchup for the Super Bowl, Gene.
It is. It really is. And I tell you what, when it comes to the Kansas City Chiefs, when it comes to Andy Reid prepares his teams for big games. And no one, I mean, he is the best.
Yes.
He's the best at it. And it's just so funny that he spent those years in Philadelphia, was never able to get to the big game.
Got close.
He comes to Kansas City. Look, we got a police motorcade coming here, so that's always interesting to see, as we can try to see who might be coming in, or he might just have his lights on to get through the traffic.
No, there's a car behind him. It's the president, Gene. Donald Trump is here.
Yeah, well, you know, President Trump is here, and I would think that he would not be coming through Canal Street here. I wouldn't think. Well, then there's a bus. So can we get that? Can we get that, Jacob?
Yep.
So, so the police motorcade.
So y'all missed the
That's
police.
a small bus.
It's a small bus.
That might be the families of the team.
That
there.
is.
Yeah, I wouldn't think.
Brittany Mahomes is right there,
You're not-
everybody.
You're not gonna. Oh, you know what? That's Taylor Swift entourage, perhaps. Okay, maybe because we didn't think about her entourage, which you know they are here. But anyway, I was talking about Andy Reid. Andy Reid prepares better for a big game than anybody, and you know I'm on the edge in the sense that I like the Eagles and I like to see them, you know, get revenge here in Super Bowl 59. But it is so hard, even if you don't like the Chiefs, it is so hard to root against Andy Reid.
Yeah, you know, I want the Eagles to win, and I have not been shy about that up to this point. But you know, if I were putting money like on the spread or on the money line, or if I was really just, you know, bantering with the guys, in no reality can I pick against the Chiefs until they lose, right? Like
Everybody says that.
yeah, it's just you can't. I did it. I thought the Texans were going to beat the Chiefs. They didn't. I thought the Bills were going to beat the Chiefs. They didn't. I can't pick against the Chiefs. The Chiefs are the best team in the NFL, and there's no way around that. Like they really are they are at the top of the pinnacle, and everybody else is fighting for second place.
Yeah, absolutely. So you got the Chiefs are 17-2. The Eagles are 17-3. They're getting ready to meet here at 5:30 local time at Caesars Superdome in New Orleans. The 34 combined wins, including the postseason by the Chiefs and Eagles, are the most ever between Super Bowl opponents. I mean, that goes more to our point that they deserve to be here. Yeah. So the Kansas City Chiefs are the first team to reach the Super Bowl 5 times in a season span, and can become the first team to ever win 3 consecutive Super Bowls. All right. So, I mean, how many times can we say that? And believe me, if they do, a lot of people consider them a dynasty now. But if they get 3 in a row, which is something that Tom Brady and the Patriots never did,
it cements it.
That's the dynasty for sure.
We are stuck in another AFC dynasty. You know, we had to put up with Tom for 20 years, running the gauntlet on the AFC. And now, lo and behold, Tom retires. Who takes over the helm? The guy that Tom beat in his final year with the Buccaneers, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. And now the Chiefs are the dynasty.
They are the dynasty. Now, here's another little tidbit, too, that you probably didn't know. So when Andy Reid and Nick Sirianni meet up today, it's going to be the 5th rematch between head coaches in the Super Bowl, right?
That's
cool.
in
Super Bowl history. Some of the more notable rematches, or whatever you want to call this, Chuck Nolan, Tom Landry, the historic Super Bowls between the Dallas Cowboys and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Jimmy Johnson, Marv Levy, the Cowboys defeated the Buffalo Bills in back-to-back Super Bowl wins, so they had that going. And here's another one here. How about Tom Coughlin and Bill Belichick? Why Tom Coughlin? Because he was the only coach to beat the New England Patriots during their dynasty with the New York Giants. So, and then I guess you could say Kyle Shanahan and Andy Reid as well.
Yeah, they've gone toe-to-toe quite a few times.
Yeah.
Interesting about Tom Coughlin and Bill Belichick, one of the people that were one of the guys that everybody thought was going to get into the Hall of Fame was Eli Manning, who is the guy who every time he got to the playoffs and Tom Brady was there, Eli was the David to Tom Brady's Goliath.
Boy, was he.
And he took Tom down twice, kept us from having to hear about Tom winning 2 more Super Bowls. Shout out to Eli Manning.
Shout out. So guess who has a birthday today?
Who's that?
Patrick Mahomes.
Happy birthday, Patrick.
Patrick Mahomes turns 29 years old. Okay. And he can become the youngest quarterback to ever start 5 Super Bowls and the first quarterback under the age of 30 all time to win 4 Super Bowls. So there's a lot of stuff going on. And I didn't even see none of these in the what do you call the prop bets. I mean, this is just statistical information that that we're giving out here.
It's nuts how many accolades Patrick has this early in his career. I mean, granted, he does have a first ballot Hall of Fame coach.
Yeah.
He has had a lot of talent on his team, but you could argue that this year he has less talent than he's had since he arrived in Kansas City, which is a testament to how good they actually are, no matter how you feel about what's gone on this season. Like it is an amazing thing.
It is. It really is. So you know what? I really need to be careful with this $20,000 ticket.
You need to put that in your pocket.
There's no way I want anyone to walk with it. I know AJ can't really.
It's a winner.
We can't really hear AJ back in the studio, but you got to show AJ this ticket so he can see that it's real.
Gene's going to win a lot of money, AJ. There's no way you can read
that. That's $20,000 in the making right there. And believe me, AJ, I got you. I got you if that ticket cashes in, man.
He's going to give us both a $15 Visa.
No. I'm better than that. So we haven't talked much about Travis Kelce. We just kind of poke fun at his girlfriend. She hasn't graduated to fiance level. Or did she? Are they engaged?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
they are engaged.
Yeah, I don't keep up with the tabloids as well as I should.
I don't recall them.
I mean,
I don't know.
At that rate, you don't really have to, right? Like, you're worth billions of dollars. Like,
that's true.
Even if you just want to call it something, you don't have to put it on paper.
That's true. But I don't know. She's going to be here. She's going to be at this game. But let's talk about Travis Kelce. Okay, he has the most postseason receptions, 174 in NFL history, and he ranks second all time behind who? Jerry Rice, the GOAT.
Behind Randy Moss.
Pro Football Hall of Famer Jerry Rice. Kelce has 2,039 yards, and he has 20 postseason touchdowns. And Jerry Rice had 2,245 yards. He had 22 touchdowns. He could shatter that today.
He could do it.
He could shatter that record today.
When Travis Kelce retires, he'll end up being the second group of brothers next to Shannon and Sterling Sharp to make the Hall of Fame, because Jason Kelce is going to make the Hall, and then Travis is going to make the Hall, both of which might end up being first ballot. So there's an argument to be made for it.
I'm glad you brought that up, because when we were talking about the Pro Football Hall of Fame, we mentioned Eric Allen, we mentioned Jared Allen, we mentioned Sterling Sharp
and Antonio
Gates. But there was one name we didn't mention, and a lot of people are sort of mixed reviews on why Eli Manning didn't get into the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
He only had, 2 All-Pro selections in his entire career. Like, Eli was an Iron Man, but he was never he was never the brightest star on his team, right? And I think that's going to be what it ultimately, he'll be in the Hall. He'll be a third or a fourth ballot. That's people were all up in arms that he didn't get first ballot because he won 2 Super Bowls. He took down Tom Brady in 2 separate Super Bowls. But you take away some pretty remarkable catches. If you take 2 catches away in both of those Super Bowl victories over Tom Brady, he doesn't win a single Super Bowl, right? Like it took some incredible teamwork amongst many people on those Giants teams to come away with the wins that they got. And I think ultimately that's what kept Eli out of the first ballot Hall of Fame selection.
Well, I don't know. I think he gets in. By the way, him and Peyton put together that's it, painting or painting. So him and Peyton actually sent in a video yesterday at the Super Bowl breakfast because they both were recipients of the Bart Starr Award.
Oh, that's cool.
So they sent in one congratulating Cameron Jordan for winning. So I thought that was pretty cool. So, we're sitting there watching them. They always got the double screen there. And those guys have a lot of fun together.
They're hilarious.
They are hilarious. So I'm sure they're going to have their Super Bowl coverage as we are speaking of Super Bowl coverage. NFL Network showing people
walking into
to
the stadium.
game. So the stadium looks really nice. Like I said, look,
it looks nothing like the Dome.
It doesn't. So, hey, we're going to take a break. We're at the bottom of the last hour here. Only 30 more minutes of the show. We're going to pack it up and head out of here in 30 minutes, folks. But not before we give you our Super Bowl predictions. You're listening to the Mean Gene Show with Jacob Meadows. We are live here at Hotel Indigo in the French Quarter on ESPN 97.5 Houston.
You're listening to The Mean Gene Show
on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
for the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here's Mean Gene.
Yes, indeed, folks. 4 hours exactly to Super Bowl 59. Folks are walking, making their way down to the Caesars Superdome site of the big game. The traffic down here is brutal, and when I say brutal, so we were expecting Catrice Johnson from Billboard to come down and hang out with us, but we could see for ourselves that nobody's moving. The police cars. I mean, you're better moving on your feet.
It's not looking very hopeful right now.
Yeah, to get around. I mean, we were just talking during the break here, trying to drive right now. Now you might be okay during the game, but man, like right now, going to the game
right now is going to be
it's
bad.
and then after the game, it's going to be bad. I mean, hey, it is. This is Super Bowl 59. I would still have to say that the city of New Orleans, when it just looks like it looks like a small city, but it is not.
It's a massive place.
It's a pretty big city, and it's a reason why they are hosting their 8th Super Bowl here, more than any city, right? And mainly because of the Superdome.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, when it's called the Superdome, where else would you hold a Super Bowl?
That's fair. I mean, they do have the perfect name for the stadium, and it's perfect conditions, right? Like when you have the Super Bowl, you want it to be in a dome. You know, you want the best team versus the best team in the best environment. Otherwise, it'd be held at Lambeau Field every year, right? Like,
well, hey, you know what I was thinking too? Just imagine if Jerry Jones was just around back then, to where, I mean, he was around, but if he owned the Cowboys back then, then he probably would have named Texas Stadium
the Superdome,
the Super Stadium, or the Super. I mean, something, man. But no, this city gets it. You know, I mean, they look, and the folks here. I mean, it's nothing. Look at that. Here's a big bus here, man. I didn't even see this.
The street's full of buses, and it's. I mean, there's.
Well, you know, some of these buses are taking people to the
stadium.
Game. So that's. And they take up a lot of, space, because the streets are kind of thin, so to speak. You're not going to move a whole lot of stuff here. But, hey, we're getting closer and closer to making our picks. In the next segment, me and Jacob will make our picks here as far as who's going to win Super Bowl 59. I am backing up my pick with just facts. I watching both of these teams here and seeing what they have done. I know the incredible amount of pressure on the Chiefs. No one better than, Andy Reid to be the one to lead them through this and keeping them focused, right? I know someone was asking me last night, man, you think the Chiefs are out here? No, man, they locked down here. Mm-hmm. No one wants the Eugene Robinson thing that happened down in Tampa, Florida. And look, this is crazy. And I'm not really making fun of this situation. He won the Bart Starr Award for community service, for what he does, what he did with his family, and for the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
But that same night, he got arrested for soliciting, a prostitute. He gives the award back, and
Yeah.
But at the same time, he was doing some community involvement.
He was a good dude, just got caught up in some of the wrong things.
Unbelievable, I had forgot about that until I was at the Super Bowl breakfast yesterday. I mean, imagine getting that award and then having to give it back.
For being a stand-up guy and have to get it back for soliciting.
That is also the reason why you cannot be out in the streets the night before the Super Bowl.
Correct. Yeah.
That's where I was going.
Got to save it for the season to end.
Because I mean this is it here. You cannot be out there getting in trouble. And believe me, Vegas, when we saw that the Super Bowl was going to be held in Vegas, we were like, whoa.
Yeah, there's so many things that could go wrong for the players, the staff, the administrative people, the coaches. Like Vegas is a wild place.
Yeah, it is. It is a wild place. So anyway, that's the story about Eugene Robinson, and the reason why they don't let players go out to the Super Bowl the night before and party, because they get into trouble. You just don't do that. But anyway, both teams were in their rooms, locked down. And look, we're looking at the hotels where the Chiefs were playing at, so it's so easy to get out. They can look out their windows and see all the madness.
Yeah,
But Eugene Robinson, that was an incredible story. I was shocked when that happened, that he were trying to solicit the undercover.
Yeah,
it wasn't a prostitute. It was an undercover.
It was a cop.
It was a cop. Yeah.
You can't do that. There's a lesson to be learned here.
Yes, indeed. So, you know what? I want to talk to Tony because our listeners are familiar with Tony. Tony, grab a mic. Come. Grab a mic there. You guys remember my great friend, retired United States. I got you. You coming on next, Rick. You coming on next because I need you to validate. I need you to validate the Eugene Robinson story. But anyway, this guy's been on the show before. You've seen him. You got to get his face in here.
Hello.
Yeah. So, Tony King, former United States Navy retired commander. Tony, you okay? You good? You've been drinking the same Basil Hayden everybody else has been drinking. I probably should have checked that before we gave his ass the microphone. But anyway, welcome back to the show, Tony, man.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
So, look, who you got today?
You put me on the spot, but if I'm a vote with my heart today.
Okay.
I'm going with the Eagles.
Go Birds. You're going with the Eagles.
I'm going with the Eagles.
All right, Tony. You know football. Me and you are Pittsburgh Steelers fans, right?
The reason I'm going with the Eagles,
right?
Since you let me get in here,
okay,
is because I believe that monster of a running back is going to keep that ball away from Holmes a little bit today.
Okay, so now some of the props are saying under 125 yards or over 125 yards.
I'm gonna go with over 125. I believe he's gonna have a big day today.
I'd have taken the over too.
So you think Nick Bolton and that Chiefs defense is just going to let him run rapid?
Barkley don't tiptoe when he hit that hole, man. He hits the hole hard.
Drew Tranquil's going to miss 5 tackles today, Gene.
he don't tiptoe when he's going through that hole.
All right, Tony. I'm cool with that. Rick, come on up, Rick.
Let's go, Rick.
Come on, Rick. I owe Rick because I put him on the spot earlier, and I apologize. This is my great friend of 40-something years. Okay. All right. Yeah. We are live on the air. And Rick, yeah. Okay. So, now this is one of my great Navy friends, a veteran, former U.S. Navy, and he lives in Georgia. And let's talk about the Falcons, who what happened in the Super Bowl.
I do.
Yeah, the 28-3.
So why are we talking about it?
Well, because it's part of Super Bowl history. That's why we have to
understand.
talk about it. But Eugene Robinson, do you remember the night?
I absolutely remember that.
We were talking last night about, hey, are the guys out here, partying? And we said, no, these guys are locked down in their hotel rooms because they cannot be out the night before the Super Bowl, and it's partly because of Eugene Robinson.
They learned their lessons from Atlanta when they were down in Miami. Eugene, I remember that story very well.
But the unique story behind that is that he received the Bart Starr Award for community service.
I did not know that.
And he gave it back after he was, busted with the
He was
undercover
still serving
cop.
the community, if you think about it.
You're absolutely right. Absolutely right.
Oh,
Absolutely.
man. Rick, who you got today in Super Bowl 59?
I think Kansas City is going to win. I think what they're going to try to do is go get the score up ahead of Philadelphia. That way, that's going to take Saquon Barkley out of the game because they're going to be up and they're going to have to pass the ball more. So I think Kansas City is going to try to do it that way.
Rick was with me last night when I put that $20 wager to win $20,000, and you agreed with most of it except the 6 point. Or did you agree with the 6 points?
I did not agree with the 6 points. I don't know whether Kansas City is going to win by 6, but that's a pretty good bet that he got there. He might win.
We're going to have a good time tonight if I hit that $20.
Yeah, if we hit that, I'm going to delay my departure tomorrow. Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, Rick.
All right.
Stan.
Thank you, sir.
Pass the mic.
Appreciate it.
Come on, Stan.
Let's go, Stan.
Come on, Stan. Stan, look. There's nothing better than torturing a Cowboys fan by making him pick between the Eagles and the Chiefs. I already know who he's picking today. All right.
Go
Hey,
Birds.
this is my best friend in the world. Known him since high school. He's been on many of my shows over the last 25 years, but he ain't never been put on the spot with having to pick the Super Bowl winner.
It's got much better.
What's
hair.
up, Stan?
What's happening?
Who you got?
KC.
You want to tell us why you choosing KC?
If it's not the Cowboys, I'm a diehard KC fan. Mahomes fan.
Oh man. So you actually think they're gonna win?
No, I don't, but I'm rooting for them.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Hey, the guys got out of here before I could thank them for coming down here. You know, I always appreciate you guys coming down and supporting. We getting ready to go over to NAS New Orleans, the Navy base, and watch this game. That's what we get ready to do. And we also getting ready to take a break. And when we come back, the last segment, we're gonna make our picks. You listen to the Mean Gene Show live from Hotel Indigo in the French Quarter right here on ESPN 97.5.
You're listening to the Mean Gene Show
on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
for the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here's Mean Gene.
It is the last segment of the Mean Gene Show on ESPN 97.5, live at the Hotel Indigo in the French Quarter. Folks are making their way down to Super Bowl 59 at the Caesars Superdome. So you heard from some of my friends making their picks. on the big game here. Me and Jacob, we're going to be the last ones to make our pick. Did AJ? We had sound problems with AJ, so did he text us
He's texting me right
his
now.
pick? So we're going to talk about AJ's picks here and see. AJ is in the same situation with Stan, my buddy that just came on. He's a Cowboys fan. I know AJ's not going to pick the Eagles. He might though, because as members of the media, we're not supposed to be biased. But AJ said, "The hell with that."
Yeah, AJ's answer is classic. He says, "I think that the Eagles have the better team. Ultimately, it's hard to pick against Mahomes, so I'm picking the Chiefs. Plus, I'm a Cowboys fan, so I will not, under any circumstance, root for the Eagles."
I already knew that was the case, right? I knew that was the case. I knew he wasn't going to. But AJ's been solid all year, and about
He's a very unbiased Cowboys fan, too. I do appreciate how good AJ is at, being realistic about what the Cowboys are capable of. And I appreciate that.
But this year was tough for him because not only did his team not do well, he had to put up with the Eagles and the Commanders.
Yeah, Dan Quinn and Kellen Moore both looked great. Jerry kicked them both out of town. So it was a rough year for Cowboys fans. I hang my hat for them this year. But, they'll be better next year. I said it on the last show I was on, but bringing in Matt Eberflus for the DC, I think is going to make a world of difference for the Cowboys.
And that's good.
And they'll lose in the wild card. They're going to make playoffs.
And he, Eberflus, former Chicago Bears coach, and some of these guys, when they've been at the top, they fall back down in a coordinator-like position, and you get a better effort next time.
People are quick to forget that Eberflus was the Eagles DC during the Nick Foles Super Bowl run. He was a terrific DC in Philadelphia.
During that Philly special?
Yeah, man.
What?
Eberflus is a terrific defensive coordinator, and there was an A+ hire by the Dallas Cowboys.
Wow. Well, like I say, they recycle these guys, but some of them are better coordinators than they are coaches. I see some Pittsburgh Steelers uniforms out there.
There's a couple, yeah.
Okay, that's
Poor
the first
fans.
one I've seen this whole year. I mean, this whole weekend down there. Yeah. The whole weekend. Look, I mean, every team is represented down here, but no, that's actually the first one that I've seen. I didn't even wear my Steelers jersey down here. I decided I didn't want to put up with, just like Cowboy fans,
Didn't want to get
they didn't
picked
want to
on.
wear their jerseys either, right? So people are having Super Bowl parties all over the country, and we're gonna kick ours off here in another couple of hours here in New Orleans. But the biggest food item for Super Bowl Sunday is once again wings.
Yep.
Wings just seems to be the one thing that you want to order. Pizza is always up there. Pizza and wings and yeah, sub sandwiches and all those things up there. So I don't know what we're gonna have, but we're gonna have a variety of stuff, and we're gonna do it up big. So there's Fox right there. They're right there at the corner of St. Peter's and Bourbon Street right there. So they are hosting the Super Bowl. Their network is going to host the Super Bowl. So look, I just hope Terry Bradshaw doesn't, fumble the Super Bowl trophy. He's sort of mishandled that over the last couple of years. So maybe they'll let Michael Strahan or Howie Long do it.
It's possible, yeah.
Because Terry Bradshaw is getting up there.
I bet you can gamble on that now. I bet you can gamble on whether or not he's going to be able to handle the trophy or drop it. Or
we were on the set, right outside the set of that. Yeah, we was out there on the set of that. So even though Fox is a rival of ESPN, of course, but man, look, wow,
that street's nuts looking.
Still the same crowds that were there from last night. So all right, Jacob, you go first. Who wins Super Bowl 59?
I want it to be the Eagles just so the three-peat doesn't happen, but I think the Chiefs win 31-24.
31-24. So that would take them over the 48.5 that's currently out there, unless it's changed.
Yep, it would also hit your 6-point favorite for the Chiefs. On
well,
your
I like that, Jacob, because that's probably going to be the one. I'm probably going to win 7 of the 8 and be pissed that I lost that one.
Jalen Hurts is going to throw for 199 yards today.
Yeah, and just I'm going to miss it by one freaking yard. What
about you, Gene? What are your picks for today?
Well, look, I didn't really make up my mind until just a couple of weeks ago, but just looking at this, I just know I'm thinking about when the New England Patriots were 17-0. They went through that whole year, 18-0 or whatever, and they got to the Super Bowl and they lost. And all of that hype, this kind of reminds me of that. Chiefs going for the three-peat. You got to know that those Eagles guys are hearing all that noise.
Oh yeah,
they're hearing that noise, and I know Vic Fangio he's probably spent a lot of time with that defense. But this Jalen Carter guy, one of the quickest guys I've ever seen at his size and his position.
Mhm.
This guy gets in the backfield. I don't know how he does it. This is not the same Eagles team that the Chiefs played a couple of years ago. I mean, Saquon Barkley is a game changer.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a big Andy Reid fan. It's hard to root against Andy Reid.
Yes.
But I have to in this particular thing. I know I don't necessarily expect Saquon Barkley to go for 100 and something yards. I do think Saquon Barkley is going to be used in the flat. Once he gets past those linebackers, there's nobody that's going to catch him. He might have 180 receiving yards, which if I'm game planning, that's what I'm doing because they're going to, what's his name, Chris Jones and those guys, Nick Bolton, will probably come up, and help.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking the Philadelphia Eagles are going to win. I think Nick Sirianni, given the second chance, they're going to win. They're going to win Super Bowl 59, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Chiefs and the Eagles and more in another Super Bowl within the next 2 or 3 years.
It wouldn't surprise me. You know what? If the Eagles pull this one off, you know who I hope wins the MVP? Kenyon Mitchell, the rookie corner. That's been an absolute stud this season. I hope that he ends up, if the Eagles are able to pull this off, I hope he has 2 picks and one of them for a touchdown. I hope that, because let the kid do it, right? Like if somebody's going to do it, let him bring Mahomes down himself, like single-handedly cost the Chiefs the game. I would hate that for you because you have on your parlay, you have the Chiefs to be the final scorer in the game, which not necessarily helpful for you.
So you're going to give me 1 yard short on my passing that I need from Jalen Hurts or under, and then you're going to take my touchdown.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, look, we want to thank the wonderful people here at Hotel Indigo, the staff, the bar, everyone. The food was great. We had Nikki Jackson. She came on, the director of sales. Everyone is getting ready to go to the game, or
it's clearing out a little bit,
out or up to their rooms to watch the game or whatever. But we're going to do the same. So look, next week we got a new time. We're on Saturdays at 2 p.m. Our focus will shift completely to NBA talk a little bit more. The NBA All-Star game, All-Star festivities is next weekend in the Bay Area. The game is going to be at the Chase Arena there in San Francisco. So we're going to be all on the NBA NC2A selection show. Going to be coming up here next month. The Final Four is in the great state of Texas, right there in San Antonio. But so this has been great. I know AJ, we couldn't get AJ back on because of the technical difficulties with listening to him. But AJ, as always, man, we want to thank you for all that you have done here, man. And I don't know if we're gonna be, if AJ is gonna be our producer when we go to the Saturdays. But man, we have enjoyed working with you, AJ. If you are gonna be with us, then we appreciate it.
I hope you get to stick around. Although Saturdays at 2 p.m. You're gonna lose me most days. 2 p.m. is a lot harder than
it's
7.
It's a tough one. But it's Saturday afternoons, and college basketball is getting ready to take over the
Can I
the
call
airways.
in for those?
Yeah. Whatever you want to do.
I can leave work a little bit, go sit in my office.
We got you. We got you covered. But anyway, so we get ready to head on out of here, and we want to thank once again everyone for coming down here. So Catrice, I know you were trying to get down here. We understand the traffic, and we will schedule her to come on the show at another time. But we're gonna wrap it up here, man. I mean, look, folks, are just the excitement. And what's your name? Give her a mic real quick. We got just real quick. Let her say hello to our people in Houston, Texas.
Hello, people in Houston, Texas.
She has been taking care of us all day, and
she's been
all
excellent.
of these guys here, great folks here. You guys, thanks again. AJ, man, we're gonna get on out of here next week, man. It's back on the Mean Gene Show. And look, hey, folks, enjoy Super Bowl 59. I think it's going to be a great one. I think it's going to be one for the record books. And, hey, safe, be safe, don't drink, don't drive, don't do none of that stuff. Sit home right there and enjoy Super Bowl 57. And we will see you back here next Saturday at 2 p.m. on ESPN 97.5 Houston. We out of here. Woo!